It's sad,
Jessica Eberly doesn't have great memories of growing up in rural Galway, New York.
I tried to fit in.
Family problems made life hard.
My mom was single, so it was really hard to either keep food on the table, and it was definitely difficult at home.
To cope with moving around a lot and starting over, she turned to drugs.
I ended up getting into heroin.
Taylor Barber knows what it's like to have a troubled childhood.
Ever since I was 13 until I was 18, I was bouncing back and forth between my mom and my grandma. My mom had a drug addiction.
Growing up in Amsterdam, she dabbled in drugs too, hung out on the street, and then became a mom.
Well, I ended up 13 and pregnant.
She became pregnant again at 17 and was spiraling out of control.
When I turned 18, I ended up getting arrested, and I went to jail.
But it would be the best thing for her. It was in the Montgomery County Jail that she met Patricia Brooking. She travels there weekly, offering comfort and introducing the young women to God.
She would read us these verses from the Bible, trying to connect with us, that we can be forgiven.
Patricia knows where they're coming from because she's been there.
I was homeless from the age of 15 to 17, so I was in survival mode most of my teenage years.
She hitchhiked across the country and says almost at her breaking point, she was rescued.
And in Chicago, I was actually rescued from the streets by a organization called Jesus People USA.
In 2012, she decided to give back, give the homeless women leaving jail a place to stay. It was her home, a 7-room working farm in Fonda. She called it Haven of Hope.
Do you have the little ties?
There, women like Jessica could work, catch their breath, and try and reinvent themselves.
I cried, and she let me into her house.
Taylor says Patricia never judged her.
Just being there for me.
Haven of Hope helps keep the women off the street, teaches them job skills at this on-site bakery. But in order for them to stay away from drugs, domestic violence, and negative influences, and raise their kids and have a healthy, meaningful life, they needed a bridge to a better life. That bridge is daycare.
It would be really cool to have a daycare right here.
Unlike cities, daycare centers are almost non-existent in rural areas. Women relied heavily on family, but rural communities have changed. Taylor has to depend on herself now and has lost jobs because of daycare issues.
If you're jumping job to job to job, it looks really bad on your resume.
So Patricia, who since moved from the farm, has now drawn up plans for a 24-hour daycare center with an infirmary.
Is the alpacas? Yes.
Right here on the farm. She needs money, laborers, supplies, and volunteers, but she's undaunted. She says she's trying to change women's lives.
And maybe if I had her before all this, it would have changed my life significantly.